Hey everyone, Ipsy here. Today I am going to be making a hen that lays the golden eggs and finishing the story of Jack and the Beanstalk. The giant came in to supper. Jack watched him through the keyhole and was amazed to see him pick up a wolf's bone and put half a fowl at a time into his capacious mouth. When supper was ended, he bade his wife bring him his hen that laid the golden eggs. It lays as well as it did when it belonged to that paltry knight, he said. Indeed, I think the eggs are heavier than ever. The giantess went away, and soon returned with a little brown hen, which she placed on the table before her husband. And now, my dear, she said, I am going for a walk, if you don't want me any longer. Go, said the giant. I shall be glad to have a nap by and by. Then he took up the brown hen and said to her, Lay, and she instantly laid a golden egg. Lay, the giant said again, and she laid another. Lay, he repeated the third time, and again a golden egg lay on the table. Now Jack was sure this hen was that of which the fairy had spoken. By and by the giant put the hen down on the floor, and soon after went fast asleep, snoring so loud that it sounded like thunder. Directly Jack perceived that the giant was fast asleep. He pushed open the door of the wardrobe and crept out. Very softly he stole across the room, and, picking up the hen, made haste to quit the apartment. He knew the way to the kitchen, the door of which he found was left ajar. He opened it, shut and locked it after him, and flew back to the beanstalk, which he descended as fast as his feet would move. When his mother saw him enter the house, she wept for joy, for she had feared that the fairies had carried him away, or that the giant had found him. But Jack put down the brown hen before her, and told her how he had been in the giant's castle, and all his adventures. She was very glad to see the hen, which would make them rich once more. Jack made another journey up the beanstalk to the giant's castle one day while his mother had gone to market. But first he dyed his hair and disguised himself. The old woman did not know him again, and dragged him in, as she had done before, to help her do the work. But she heard her husband coming, and hid him in the wardrobe, not thinking that it was the same boy who had stolen the hen. She bade him stay quite still there, or the giant would eat him. Then the giant came in, saying, Fee, fi, fo, fum, I smell the breath of an Englishman. Let him be alive or let him be dead, I'll grind his bones to make my bread. Nonsense, said the wife. It is only a roasted bullock that I thought would be a titbit for your supper. Sit down, and I will bring it up at once. The giant sat down, and soon his wife brought up a roasted bullock in a large dish, and they began their supper. Jack was amazed to see them pick the bones of the bullock as if it had been a lark. As soon as they finished their meal, the giantess rose and said, Now, my dear, with your leave, I am going to my room to finish the story I am reading. If you want me, call for me. First, answered the giant, bring me my money bags, that I may count my golden pieces before I sleep. The giantess obeyed. She went, and soon returned with 2 large bags over her shoulders, which she put down by her husband. There, she said, that is all that is left of the night's money. When you have spent it, you must go and take another baron's castle. That he shan't if I can't help it, thought Jack. The giant, when his wife was gone, took out heaps and heaps of golden pieces and counted them, and put them in piles till he was tired of the amusement. Then he swept them all back into their bags, and, leaning back in his chair, fell fast asleep, snoring so loud that no other sound was audible. Jack stole softly out of the wardrobe, and, taking up the bags of money, which were his very own because the giant had stolen them from his father, he ran off, and with great difficulty, descending the beanstalk, laid the bags of gold on his mother's table. She had just returned from town, and was crying at not finding Jack. There, mother, I have brought you the gold that my father lost. Oh, Jack, you are a very good boy, but I wish you would not risk your precious life in the giant's castle. Tell me how you came to go there again. And Jack told her all about it. Jack's mother was very glad to get the money, but she did not like him to run any risk for her. But after a time, Jack made up his mind to go to the giant's castle. So he climbed up the beanstalk once more and blew the horn at the giant's gate. The giantess soon opened the door. She was very stupid and did not know him again, but she stopped a minute before she took him in. She feared another robbery, but Jack's fresh face looked so innocent that she could not resist him. So she bade him come in, and again hid him away in the wardrobe. By and by the giant came home, and as soon as he crossed the threshold he roared out, "Fee, fi, fo, fum, I smell the breath of an Englishman. Let him be alive, or let him be dead, I'll grind his bones to make my bread." "You stupid old giant," said his wife, "you only smell a nice sheep which I have grilled for your dinner." And the giant sat down, and his wife brought up a whole sheep for his dinner. When he had eaten it all up, he said, "Now bring me my harp, and I will have a little music while you take your walk." The giantess obeyed, and returned with a beautiful harp. The framework was all sparkling with diamonds and rubies, and the strings were all of gold. "This is one of the nicest things I took from the knight," said the giant. "I am very fond of music, and my harp is a faithful servant." So he drew the harp toward him, and said, "Play." The harp played a very soft, sad air. "Play something merrier," said the giant, and the harp played a merry tune. "Now play me a lullaby," roared the giant, and the harp played a sweet lullaby, to the sound of which its master fell asleep. Then Jack stole softly out of the wardrobe and went into the huge kitchen to see if the giantess had gone out. He found no one there, so he went to the door and opened it softly, for he thought he could not do so. Still the giant came on so fast that he was quite close to poor Jack, and had stretched out his great hand to catch him. But luckily, just at that moment, he stepped upon a loose stone, stumbled, and fell flat on the ground, where he lay at his full length. The accident gave Jack time to get on the beanstalk and hasten down it, but just as he reached their own garden, he beheld the giant descending after him. Mother, cried Jack, "make haste and give me the axe." His mother ran to him with a hatchet in her hand, and Jack with one tremendous blow cut through all the beanstalks except one. "Jack," she said, "you have acted like a brave knight's son, and deserve to have your inheritance restored to you. Dig a grave and bury the giant, and then go and kill the giantess." "But," said Jack, "I could not kill anyone unless I were fighting with him, and I could not draw my sword upon a woman. Moreover, the giantess was very kind to me." The fairy smiled on Jack. "I am very pleased with your generous feelings," she said. "Nevertheless, return to the castle, and act as you will find needful." Jack asked the fairy if she would show him the way to the castle, as the beanstalk was now down. She told him that she would drive him there in her chariot, which was drawn by two peacocks. Jack thanked her, and sat down in the chariot with her. The fairy drove him a long distance round till they reached a village which lay at the bottom of the hill. Here they found a number of miserable-looking men assembled. The fairy stopped her carriage and addressed them. "My friends," said she, "the cruel giant who oppressed you and ate up all your flocks and herds is dead, and this young gentleman was the means of your being delivered from him, and is the son of your kind old master the knight." The men gave a loud cheer at these words, and pressed forward to say that they would serve Jack as faithfully as they had served his father. The fairy bade them follow her to the castle, and they marched thither in a body, and Jack blew the horn and demanded admittance. The old giant saw them coming from a turret loophole, and she was very much frightened, for she guessed that something had happened to her husband, and as she came downstairs very fast, she caught her foot in her dress and fell from top to bottom and broke her neck. When the people outside found the door was not open to them, they took crowbars and forced the portal. Nobody was to be seen, but on leaving the hall, they found the body of the giantess at the foot of the stairs. Thus Jack took possession of the castle. The fairy went and brought his mother to him, with the hen and the harp. He had the giantess buried, and endeavored as much as lay in his power to do right to those whom the giant had robbed. Before her departure for Fairyland, the fairy explained to Jack that she had sent the butcher to meet him with the beans, in order to try what sort of lad he was. "If you had looked at the gigantic beanstalk, and only stupidly wondered about it," she said, "I should have left you where misfortune had placed you, only restoring her cow to your mother. But you showed an inquiring mind, and great courage and enterprise. Therefore, you deserve to rise, and when you mounted the beanstalk, you climbed the ladder of fortune." She then took her leave of Jack and his mother. All right, and here it is all done. I hope you enjoyed today's story, and I hope to do some more stories very soon. If you liked today's video, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and tell your friends. I hope to see you all soon. Bye.